Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Dr. Mondo. I've been sitting in this chair all day. This is the place where all the magic happens. This is where I do therapy, and this is where I do my Facebook Lives. I'm sick of sitting in the chair. So I wanted to get up really quick and just get a chance to do these office hours with you guys a little bit more interactively. Welcome again. I'm Dr. Mondo, licensed psychotherapist and researcher and just passionate guy about obesity and weight loss, and really just a firm believer that this emotional side of this transformation is often untalked about. Our relationship with food is often untalked about. It's not a part of the equation when we go to help someone lose weight or when we help them in their maintenance journey. So I'm on this quest to create this channel here on both YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, and to create partnerships around the globe where I partner with gyms, I partner with weight loss centers to offer this revolutionary way now of helping people not just lose weight, but rewrite their entire story. And this Thursday broadcast is your chance to ask me anything. There's a thing now on Instagram stories, I don't know if you guys saw it, but it's the hashtag AMA. Which is not the American Music Awards. It's Ask Me Anything. So hashtag AMA is what we are going with here today. So if you guys are logging in right now, I want you to go ahead and again, let us know that you're here. And I see some people saying hello. We see you, Kimberly and Maureen, and we have these loyal visitors, Mary Tara. These are folks that tune in a ton. How about Tuesday night? Like Tuesday night was just, I know a lot of you guys that are here right now. Hey, Nalita, what's going on over at the Besson Castle? Miss you guys. Tuesday night was crazy. I don't know if you guys got a chance to tune in. I think a lot of you that are on here right now, you had a chance to tune in. We had over 500 comments. There was like almost 75 shares, or I don't know, something crazy on Tuesday night. And it was because the guests that we had were just so incredible. I mean, you guys heard those amazing transformation stories. And again, it wasn't just the physical transformation, but it was the mental and the emotional transformation that we heard from those guys, and just, you know, with Robert and Matt's stories. And so that was awesome. We had a guest appearance from the Plant-Based Elvis, the Bill Walsh of the plant-based world, Josh Lajani, who's everywhere right now, speaking, and you know, he's everywhere. And just producing so many inspirational videos each day and posts. So Josh joined us for that broadcast. If you haven't seen that, you can watch. It's still available to rewatch on my Facebook timeline. And anyway, yeah, Tuesday night was just absolutely unbelievable. And I'm going to tell you this quick announcement before we jump into office hours. And again, if you guys are just logging in, this is your time, hashtag AMA. If you have any questions, ask away. We're going to have two special guests here, and that's right, you didn't even know about that. But we have two special guests that are going to be joining me to facilitate a conversation about why do we get stuck? Like, why do we just struggle to do what we know we should do? Anyone relate to that? Can I get a wow if that's something you relate to? Like, you know what to do, you know what to eat, you know how you should be exercising. You even make a plan to do it. You even pack the running shoes. You even pack and meal prep on Sunday, but the food sits in the fridge all week long. The running shoes sit in the back of the car. You pile them back there. You like toss away the bag because you don't even want to see it. And you don't eat the food, and you don't make it to the gym. And you stick in this pattern over and over and over and over and over. And some of you are stuck in patterns like this, but you also are in marriages where the marriages are also in patterns like this. Or you're in a family system where you see your kids now following suit, and you're almost pulling your hair out because you're feeling so much pressure to get your own journey back unstuck. But then there's also the journey of your partner and the journey of your family members and your friends, and it's a lot. So we're going to talk about that tonight on this office hours. We're going to talk about what happens when you get stuck. Why do we sometimes struggle to do the very thing that we know we need to do? Maureen says, help me get unstuck. Craig says, wow, which means he can relate to that too. That's what I need. It was a good episode. I caught it the following day. So again, a lot of people talking about the past episode, talking about this content. I'm going to tell you this final two quick announcements, okay? Two quick announcements. I see people logging in. Thank you guys again for joining us. If you're new, around here. I'm Dr. Mondo, licensed therapist. Everyone else already probably knows that. But anyway, we're here to talk about the emotional side of your weight loss transformation. We're here to talk about your relationship with food. No, it is not just that you like cake. There's more to your relationship with cake than you've been given credit for. Cake's been a comfort. Cake's been an escape. Cake has been your numbing agent for your emotions and your feelings. It's been your Superman with the cape on a really stressful and scary and overwhelming day. It's even rescued you from emotions you didn't even know you had because you were so disconnected from your emotions to begin with. And so part of what we're trying to do in being here is give you a space to start learning and developing an emotional IQ, number one. And number two, once you develop the emotional IQ, what are you going to do in response to your emotions different than just to eat those feelings away or to avoid the difficult things, the difficult conversations, the difficult topics, the difficult relationships that you know are unhealthy. We have to address those things if we want to shift this relationship with food, if we want to rewrite our story. We're going to talk about it here tonight. So Tuesday night broadcast, again, we do Rewriting My Story. I interview someone who's had an amazing weight loss transformation. I interview them about the story behind the before and after photos. And so this past Tuesday night, it got brought up in those 500 comments, and this is proof that we read the comments. Okay, we actually take time to read them. There's still more going back to some of you guys who left some amazing comments. Some of you are pouring your heart out, and I appreciate, I honestly, like, when I see that, that makes me just, it lights me up because I want us to have that community. And I want you to know, we're seeing all of that. And to that point, someone brought up on there, they brought up the alarming divorce rate, right? We know the divorce rate in our society is a coin flip, which is ridiculous, and we can get into that, but we're not going to. But it's 50% divorce rate. They say it's gone down a little bit, but they say a lot of that's because the economy was bad for a while. People couldn't afford to get divorced. Anyway, that's another topic for another time. But the divorce rate for someone that's gone through a weight loss transformation is actually at 75%. Isn't that crazy? So 75% of people who go through a drastic weight loss transformation end up getting divorced in the aftermath of their weight loss transformation. It's just absolutely incredible. So it's one of these big pieces that was getting talked about a lot in the comments section of Tuesday Night Show. And as a result of that, I talked with Anthony Macelio. A lot of you guys know Anthony. Anthony has an amazing transformation story. He lost a ton of weight, and he's kept it off. And he is an amazing, he's a marathon runner. He's a plant-based athlete. One of the original Missing Chins, I think, when they started forming that group. And Anthony's been on Good Morning America. You know, he's been different places telling his story. And I talked with Anthony, and I said, you know what? We need to form a panel, and this Tuesday night, we're bumping around the schedule. Let's talk about that topic. So Tuesday night's guest is going to be a panel of folks that have lost weight or gained it back. It's going to be people that they know the struggle is real, right? But they're going to talk and unpack this 75% statistic that we were just mentioning last week on the broadcast. And we're going to talk about why is that number so high? We're going to put some theories out there. I'm going to give you some education, some research on what I know about that. And we're going to talk about what you can do to make sure that your marriage actually gets, makes it through that. It's so unfortunate because I think that, having something like a weight loss transformation could be the thing that actually propels your marriage into the most healthy space you've ever been. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't even know that it's going to go through a crisis. So they're not prepared. They don't go to counseling. They don't reach out for support. We are ending all of that by letting you know up front, it's going to be hard work in your relationships. It's not an excuse to just eat and not do the work, but it's also something you need to know heading in. Otherwise, you're going to get caught off guard. And again, if we can give you a roadmap to some of these changes you're going to go through emotionally in your relationships, in your world around you, then wouldn't it make sense that you're going to be more successful? I mean, I know that when I drive somewhere that I don't know where to go, if I don't got Waze or I don't got Google Maps guiding me there, I'm going to get lost, right? And I'll get confused and panicked. When we have a roadmap to know where we're going, to know this is part of something that happens. When I reach a certain point in my weight loss transformation, it's okay to look in the mirror and not recognize the person that I'm seeing. It's okay at a certain point to start getting attention from the opposite sex and having part of me like that, and another part of me feel scared by that, feel like my relationship is threatened. These are all common road marks that we see if you're given a roadmap to the emotional side of weight loss. So we're going to talk about that Tuesday night. That's the big announcement. So Tuesday night, tune in. You don't want to miss it. 75% divorce rate. We're taking those numbers down by doing what we're doing here. And I'm telling you right now, if you tune in, you're going to really be in a good position to have some proactive conversations to where you can not only see yourself get healthy with your partner, but also have a better marriage on the other side of a weight loss transformation. Not have to worry about this divorce stuff, all that. Second thing I'm going to talk about right now really quick, and I'm looking, there's a bunch of comments, guys. I see it all. Is that 75%? I know where people are talking about that. Is that 75% accounting for positive weight loss and significant weight gain? That's what Craig is asking here. So is that 75% accounting for positive weight loss and significant weight gain? So again, weight loss in that study typically is classified as drastic. So it's drastic. So it's usually over like 40 pounds lost, or it's a higher percentage of body weight. And then it's typically what we see is that it's people get faced sometimes with either like, and it's not a conscious thing, but it's almost like gaining the weight back or getting divorced. It's like this choice that people make unconsciously a lot. And so we want to kind of dig into why that is and why that happens. So good question, Craig. And anyway, we're going to jump in. We have guests that I'm going to bring onto the camera now. And as we bring those guests on, the first guest is a familiar face. Is there any people who are watching this broadcast that are from the Fit Code gym? And if so, holler by throwing a love or a like or some, I don't know, some emoji. Share this broadcast if you know about Fit Code. How about that? We'll know you're from Fit Code if you share this. And again, this Facebook algorithm, we're not paying for this thing to go viral. You have to share it. You have to comment. You have to do all the likes, whatever. It's not to stroke the ego of any of the people that are going to be on the show. It's simply to get it out there because we need people to see this. So if you know about Fit Code Gym, you know about their locations in the Chicago area. You know about their locations, and they actually stretch beyond just Chicago. And you know about Shelton. And Shelton, again, is not just the lead coach. He's the owner of the gym out there, the CEO out there of the enterprise. And what they're doing out at Fit Code is they're doing something revolutionary. They're helping people not just lose weight, but Shelton is also investing his time, like the time right now that he should be, he really wants to be spending with his family, but he's taking some time out tonight to spend a few minutes with us. And he's going to chat with us a little bit about what he's doing at his gym and why they are being part of the revolution that, as we said, it won't be televised, but it's happening. The revolution that's happening right now, where gyms like Shelton's that have a heart for their members, that goes beyond just wanting to see them lose weight and stay on as members, but to be successful at keeping it off long term and wants to see them get emotionally healthy in the process. We're going to talk to Shelton about his gym, Fit Code, which is doing just that. And spoiler alert, little announcement that we just made earlier today, you may have caught it, but I'm actually going to be out in Chicago for the Slaying Shame tour. We hit up New Jersey, we hit up DC, we hit up the East Coast. We're now going to Chicago to do the Slaying Shame tour. And it's some of you may have saw the first round of talks that I did out there in Chicago. This one's a little bit different. We're going to be talking about the role of shame in your life and why shame is what I call the secret killer to your weight loss journey. We'll talk even a little bit more about that today. So I'm coming to Chicago. It is on the 4th of August, which is a Saturday morning at 11:30 a.m. You can RSVP for the event. We will throw the link in below and you can RSVP for the event. It's a free event. Anyone can come. You don't have to be a member of the gym, but you definitely are probably, if you're not a member of the gym, you're going to want to see this gym environment because they're like a family. Everyone in that gym is like a family, and you'll see the way the members operate. So again, if you're part of the Fit Code crew, you're tuning in because your guy Shelton is going to be on here in a second. I'm going to bring him on camera. Make sure that you share this broadcast. I'm going to bring Shelton on real quick, and then we're going to introduce our other guest that we also have tonight, and she's going to share a little bit of our story in our very limited time. I'm sorry, we got a little bit of a late start. Shelton, how are you, man?
Dr. Mondo, I'm doing great. What about you?
I'm just admiring that. Look at that. I like that shirt, man. Can you show everyone the shirt that you got on right now? That's the Fit Code official. Is that
Fit Code
sponsored by
official.
Under Armour?
Oh, it's this Under Armour shirt, which just threw my
Is
logo
it?
on
Is it
it.
Under Armour?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I didn't even see the Under Armour. It just looked like an Under Armour. So I like that. I need to get some Fit Code swag when I get out there.
Hey,
So
no
you gotta
doubt.
help me out, man. So Shelton, tonight I know we got limited time, and people they're commenting in. There's a lot of stuff that people are talking about on here. Guys, keep your comments coming, keep your questions coming. We will try to get to them. But Shelton, I want you to tell me a little bit about as we're doing these broadcasts, there's a guest that we've talked about wanting to bring on each time when I get a chance to do office hours with you. And tell me more about why you wanted to bring this particular guest, Tristan, on to this broadcast with us.
Well, originally when I inquired amongst my members on who wanted to talk to Dr. Mondo, and I had a bunch of people raise their hands, and Tristan was one of the first people. And Tristan being our member of ours for 2 years now, almost 3. She came in originally on a 6-week challenge. She had some great success. And she was trucking along, and then, as sometimes happens with people, life interrupts. It gets in the way, and then sometimes when that life gets in the way, adapting to those changes can be difficult, and then sometimes we fall back into those old habits.
Yeah.
And she is someone that's has had a hard time getting back on the bike, so to speak. So she's been coming in and working out, but from a nutrition standpoint, she hasn't been able to get back over that hurdle. And having your knowledge and help and assistance with that, I think, would be key to help give her more insight into why. Like, because sometimes people have that stopping point when they get started, they have some success, and then occasionally there's that chance where they may fall back to some of those old habits, and then getting back started can be very difficult. So, and I thought she'd be great with that.
Yeah, we see it all the time, but what's really cool about this is that a couple things. The scenario that you just painted, I mean, because you see it in your gyms, and I see it in all the gyms I go through, literally around the country, the same thing happening where people experience success. In this case, an injury happened, and stuff like that pops up, and so there's legitimate things that happen that derail someone from this great momentum that they have, and you see the side of them come out. And I'm sure, like you saw with Tristan, this amazing warrior probably came out of her in those workouts, this beast. And then so it's like what she's capable of in the gym. She knows what she's capable of, and part of that is fighting then this internal shame of God, I know what I need to do, but I can't. And so what's perfect is that so many people are experiencing this, but we could sit here and just talk about it. And what better thing to do than allow, rewriting my story, allow someone's story to kind of be the vehicle to which we talk about this common struggle. And the only thing I would say to that is that, wouldn't you agree? I think it's pretty courageous for someone in Tristan's spot to be like, yep, I'll raise my hand. Not only will I'll come on Facebook Live, and I'm on vacation. I'll even step off the vacation for a moment and come. I think that's beyond courageous, and it shows to me a lot of where her headspace is at. Even though she feels stuck, she really wants to change.
Yeah, definitely. When she sent me a message saying I'll be on vacation, but I can make it happen. I want to do this, and so that's a testament to who she is in terms of ready to make that change, and who she is as a person, that internal drive to make things happen, which, as you mentioned, I see it when she's in the gym, and I know she's ready for that change. So I'm excited for it.
I'm excited, and so let's go ahead and let's invite her on. So Tristan, thank you so much for joining us. I know that as you are joining us, you are taking time away from your vacation with your family. You have dinner plans tonight, and we're not gonna keep you from that. I promise. I know we got a late start, but we're not gonna keep you from that. But thank you so much. How are you tonight, and how are you feeling as you kind of come on? You hear Shelton talking about your story, and yeah.
I am doing well. Thanks so much. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for letting me on. I'm not feeling great lately. And like Shelton said, and like you said, Dr. Mondo, I know that I can do it because I have done it. I've done it before, and I know what I need to do. It's getting to the point of, as I was saying before, and I have said to Shelton before, I need to get to that point where I wake up one morning and say, I don't want to be like this anymore, and I'm going to change. And I'm at that point. And so, Shelton's message to me this week saying, hey, do you still want to do this call? Do you still want to participate in this discussion? That's what, I said, I'm on vacation, but, this has been a topic that my husband and I have been talking about on this vacation, is what we both need to do and what we need to do as a family to really get ourselves and our family back on track of being healthy. As I said, part of my information that I sent to you earlier is it's a lifestyle, it's not a diet. And our lifestyle was great for a very long time. And we just kind of slowly, when life gets in the way, it's so much easier to go to the convenience. It's so much easier to fall back into those bad habits. Not bad habits, just old habits. And so, yeah. I'm ready to get back on.
I think you congratulations, first of all, for knowing that. Here's one of the things that we do. You struggled with your weight since you were 10 years old, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I've struggled since I was like 3. So one of the things I want to point out is that, one of the things I want to point out is that sometimes we don't give ourselves credit when we get to these moments where we're like, I'm ready to make a change. We're like, well, I've done this before. I don't know. Do you have any of that like chatter that you're kind of defeating even by showing up today of like, well, you have tried this before and it didn't, obviously it didn't stick? Or is there any of that like shame that starts to kind of kick in or has tried to kick in and derail you from starting up again?
No, a little, yes, but it's fine. I have never gone on Facebook Live before,
So that's a different level of emotion and to process, yeah.
I've never gone so public, for sure.
Yeah.
With my, the most public I've ever gone, quite honestly, is the 6-week challenges that I've done with Shelton. And I don't know if you're familiar with how those work, but part of the piece.
Yeah, I've done them, yeah.
Okay, so part of the piece of the 6 weeks is you have to check in on Facebook every day.
Yes.
And that, at first, when I first signed on with Shelton 3 years ago, or not quite 3, I said, well, this is a great marketing ploy. Clearly everybody on the South Side knows about it because everybody's checking in. But then it only took a week or 2 before I realized that's 600 people that I vaguely know that now know that I'm on this journey. And every time I would see them, they would say, hey, how are the workouts? How's it going? You look great. It just really... what I thought was really just more of a marketing idea, at the Fit Code family, found out that really what it was people encouraging me. And even now still that I have gained back weight and become a lot less healthy, people still bring it up and say, you know what, you still look great. And I'm like, you know what? No, I don't. But thank you for saying that. But they're familiar with the fact that it is a struggle, whether it's for me or I think anybody who's done this, it kind of just shows that you're willing to put yourself out there and say that, I'm not perfect. And I'm not saying it's courageous. I do think that for a lot of people to put out there what they have is, I don't consider myself in that arena, but it definitely was real difficult to do, to put it out there to tell people. And that's, so falling back into bad habits, do I beat myself up about that? Like, I do to an extent, but moving forward, I can't say, well, I've tried this before, it's probably not going to work again. Like, I can't be like that. I can't have that. I can't afford it. I can't afford to have that kind of mindset. So I am moving forward instead. And that's Facebook Live is certainly a lot different than anything I've ever done before.
Well, Facebook Live is Facebook Live is really a way to timestamp that. Like I'm a big advocate. I'll tell people, obviously because I recorded. You can go back and look at my YouTube videos. There's plenty of video. I recorded videos when I was 300 plus pounds, and I hated that. But in part, it was me kind of standing up of like, you know what? I got to get this message out here, and this is my timestamp. So today is a good timestamp for you, Tristan, to be able to say July 12th is a timestamp where you took yet another step forward. And, I know how it is. You get back from vacation and you have a renewed sense, hopefully, of peace, but also like a renewed sense of, okay, I caught my breath. Now I know what I want to do. And I know you and your husband are having some conversations about that right now. So I'm very excited. And one of the things I want to point out for some of the viewers down here, and again, if you can relate to any of this, comment below, give us some likes, give us some shares. I think, again, that it's really common for people to get, and I almost assume that maybe you felt some shame, and I love that you don't, because you shouldn't. And so maybe there's some of you right now that are listening to Tristan's story, and you're like, I would never be on Facebook Live talking about how I'm getting ready. She is courageous, and she's like, whatever, no big deal. But my point is that, do you see that she's showing up and being like, I want to address this, and I know what I need to do, and I want some support, and I want to put myself out there? There should be no shame in this. The only shame should be literally like on your deathbed with your last breath being like, dang, I could have given it more. So as long as you're not at that point, then keep going, okay? Because the journey and the destination is not some number at the end of the scale or at the end of a weight loss challenge. The destination should be extending your life out. So we're trying to extend the destination. So again, I want to give you just huge props for that. And the other thing is I'm curious, because a lot of people get hopeless. Like we talked about, you know what to do, but you struggle to do it. I want to explain a little bit of why I think that is, but have you been battling any of that hopelessness during this time where you were kind of stuck, like where you just felt like, what's the point of beginning again, or not even so much of that?
Yeah. I mean, I think anybody who is in a yo-yo situation falls into that, I might as well have more ice cream because I've already had some, or, why go work out? I didn't work out yesterday. I might as well just start on Monday. It's the whole, it's not so much the shame as it is kicking the can down the street and making that very easy. But you also have to get to a point in your life where, if not now, then when? So, yeah, I mean, every time I would pull into a McDonald's for a quick lunch, there's a little bit of shame involved in that. Getting the large Coke and the burger, no cheese, too many calories. It doesn't. Right. Yes, there is a little bit of shame in, but that's also it's a little bit of humility too. That you have to kind of accept that there are things that are bigger than you. Go ahead. There are things. Sorry, got kids coming into the room. It's for chatting. You just have to. You have to take responsibility for your own actions. That's something that anybody who's a parent teaches their children, that is, do whatever you'd like, but you have to take responsibility for what you do. So I am standing up for the umpteenth time, but hopefully the last, and saying I'm taking responsibility for what I have done the last, 2 years, after working so hard for the first year. And now, I knew I can do it because I did it before. And again, in my head, I would like for this to be the last time. So doing it differently is, go ahead.
I was going to say, and it can be. It can be the last time.
Absolutely.
And that's when we're hopeful, we believe stuff like that, right? Like we'll believe it about our best friend and our kids, but it's hard sometimes to believe it about ourselves. Like, yeah, I don't know about you, but everyone else, yeah, maybe it's your last. And one of the things that Adam just said, Adam Brown, Adam, thanks for tuning in, man, and hope all is well with you. He said procrastination is delaying progress. Love that. So no more procrastination. Tonight you're making a stand on July 12th to be here. Sheldon, do you believe that there's reason for someone like Tristan to be hopeful about where she's at, despite the fact that she's seen her journey have some unexpected bumps? And are you hopeful for her? And is there a reason for someone in her shoes that might be watching to be hopeful about reigniting their journey the way Tristan's looking to reignite hers? And you can be honest.
I'm absolutely hopeful, and the reason why I am hopeful is, and know that she can get back on that journey and get back to where she was or where she wants to get to, is A, she's done it before, right? So she knows what it takes to get there, right? B, Tristan is like I can tell she is a go-getter, right? Just in our conversations,
I can
and
too. Yeah.
when when she wants something done and she puts her mind to it, like she can make it happen. And so I think for her, it's a matter of taking that time to put her mind to it. As with anybody, like having that one, that why. And I feel she's in a place right now to just hearing her talk. Like she's in a place where she is really, really ready to make that change. Where maybe a few months ago, maybe it wasn't quite there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was still some little bit of um, hesitation to move forward. But I feel at this point, like she's ready to move forward and ready to make those changes.
I want to point this out because it's really interesting. It's almost like having Shelton's almost like someone that does forensics, and you have a chance to ask them. Shelton, you've heard a lot of people talk about change. I imagine through all your gym locations, seeing that many people whose lives you've changed. How is it that there is something you're picking up? And I pick it up too, but I wonder what you would articulate it as. Is it a tone and is something in her voice? Is it something about the way she says it? Is it the words she's using? What is it about what you're hearing from Tristan right now that makes you go, yeah, like I could sense that you're ready for this?
Yeah, it's the I don't know, like I don't know how to phrase it, but when someone is really ready to make that, you can sense it. Like it's not just words that are coming out of their mouth, it's the feeling, it's the expression behind it. Like the expressions match the words, and everything kind of goes together, where sometimes there's a disconnect when you have conversations with people. They say they want to change, but like the behind the scenes behind that, when you look at them, you sometimes are unsure if they're really ready to make that change. But I see there's definitely some congruence there between her words and like what she's saying, how she's saying it, and then the expressions behind it as well.
Yeah, I just think it's fascinating. I appreciate that because like I'm learning from that too, and because I see it too. Like we're both in the field of change, and like we're here to help people. We want to see people change, and so I think it's interesting. I get a feeling sometimes when I sit with people, like I'll tell people straight up. I'll say, you know what, I can help you, but you don't really need me. Like I think I could be really helpful to you, but my sense is that you're going to do this whether you have me or not. I just can probably help you get there a little bit easier, make it a little less painful.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I think when we're ready to change, and people don't give themselves enough credit, and I'm going to say that to you right now too. It's the mindset that you're in, the feeling you have, like Fit Code's going to help you. I'd love to be a part, whatever, but you're going to do that. You're going to do your thing. So definitely harness and realize that there's something brewing inside you that's ready to change. And I want people to hear kind of the way that Tristan's talking about it and setting it up, because I want you to notice the way you're talking about change, and maybe what's holding you back is some of these things we mentioned, are the silent killers. Maybe you're really hopeless. Maybe you've given up on yourself. Okay. Or maybe shame is authoring a lot of your self dialogue. And so internally you're just like, oh, I always do this or I always do that. What's the point? You got to get rid of that stuff. That stuff's not going to help you. Okay. And especially if you're in a position like Tristan's in, which is you have other people that are watching you. And, like I can relate to that too. I think we all can with kids, right? Like in our partners, is that it's not just about us. And it's also about the 600 people who saw the 600 check-ins on Facebook. Like they're watching too. And, I remember hearing someone say once, like, you need to be careful about your witness. And if you're sharing a story of change, like, it's not meant to be shameful or bring on more guilt. It's meant to encourage you to say, take this momentum you have, Tristan, and not only unleash it for you, but realize you're going to be impacting a lot of lives in a positive way. Just get through the first 30 days or so to get back on your grind. But after 30 days, you already know what it's going to feel like. It's going to feel good after 30 days, right?
Yes.
Yeah. First 30 days are not going to feel good. Or the first 5 days aren't going to feel good. No one's going to lie to you about that, right, Sheldon?
No, they really suck.
They suck.
They do.
Rough. We're not going to sugarcoat that. It's going to be
but if
tough.
it doesn't suck, it's not working.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Exactly. It is through the pain that we experience the progress. So a lot of people on here are just, I could see they're cheering you on. And there's lots of positive stuff. People are throwing lots of likes and loves and hearts your way. I know, again, we're up against a time crunch here, so I'm not going to keep you guys too much longer. But there's a couple things I want to reflect back. This big question that all of you can relate to in Tristan's story, which is why, I'm stuck in this pattern and kind of like, why do I do what I don't want to do? We've talked about this before. If you have not, at the very least, watched videos on the concept called the pleasure trap, and it's a book that was written by Dr. Goldhammer and Dr. Lyle. So it's an MD and a clinical psychologist, and it talks about why we get stuck in these patterns. We as human beings are drawn to things that give us the most amount of pleasure and exert the least amount of energy. Okay, so that's and when we get hooked in that, that's called the pleasure trap. So I mean, how great is the advent, or not great, of getting food delivered to your front door on an app? Like, that changed everything, right? That changed everything, especially, especially for some people that were using recreational drugs, that changed their entire life. They were like, wow, now the level of energy I had to exert to leave and all the panic and getting in the car, and I don't have to do any of that. I hit a button, Grubhub's here. Here we go. So easy, right? So we love things that give us lots of dopamine, lots of pleasure chemicals, without having to exert much energy. And once we're in that cycle, the problem is that our brains don't want out. So as I could tell to you right now, part of that, Tristan, is that the reason that first 5 or 7 days is hard isn't just because it's hard on your body, it's hard on your mind. You're literally, you are cutting off the dopamine drip that your brain was getting from the food, and it was getting from the Netflix binges or whatever else was happening. And now it's like, wait a minute, what are we doing? Are we ever going to get this again? And it takes a while to get your brain balanced out. But once you are out of the pleasure trap, again, Google that, read the book if you haven't. Once you're out of the pleasure trap, the cool thing is that it's really hard to get back in. Like, maybe you could relate to that, Tristan, when you did 3 challenges, right?
Right.
So like on that second challenge or third challenge, I'm sure the level of like focus that you had with your nutrition was probably different than the first 5 days, right?
Yes, it definitely was.
Yeah, so that's the pleasure trap stuff. So again, guys, one of the things that I want to tell you is, if you're feeling like Tristan has, part of it is like, there's no other way to beat this than to simply like detox. You gotta get detox. Sheldon, would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. You got to get out of the cycle of, those things that keep us coming back, and then, one little thing leads to a little bit more. So definitely got to detox and clean your system. And yeah,
and there's Annette just shared with us that both Dr. Lyle and Goldhammer are doing a free webinar this Sunday. I'm just passing that information on to you guys. So if you're interested in the pleasure trap, you can check out more about that. They just got stuff all over the internet. You could read. It's all free, but it's worth it, because here's what happens if we don't know about the pleasure trap. We beat ourselves up a lot, more than we should, and we trick ourselves a lot. Like, part of the trick could be, some of you need to make peace with the fact that certain foods you just need to be like, it's almost like the way that you guys, some of you only drink like once a year, and that's probably a good thing. And you have it all planned where you have like a recovery day the next day, and you're gonna like go to the spa, and like, that's how some of you need to treat a Supreme Pizza from Pizza Hut. Like, if you're gonna have a piece, you need to have food prep the next day. You need to have a detox day. You need Sheldon to pick you up in the morning and put the Rocky music on the Wonder Boom, and you need to run out. Like, that's the way you need to or you need to make peace and just say goodbye, because it's not doing you any favors, and it keeps you in the pleasure trap. So those are some hard things that you don't want to make decisions about, but you might have to make decisions about. And I can tell you from personal experience, a lot of people know I went whole foods, plant-based, so I went super aggressive with it, because I know my brain really likes patterns, and so I don't eat meat, I don't eat dairy, and that really helps me, because now when I see it, the pleasure trap can't lure me back in, because I'm not in it. But believe me, I'm also realizing that the moment that I jumped back in it, I could just fall right down that hill again if I wasn't careful. So these are some things you guys got to ask yourself. So again, literally, speaking of all of this stuff, this is probably the exact talk that you were hoping to have on your vacation before you went to dinner. Right? Like, this was the one you wanted. You're like, I can't wait to go to dinner. This is great. Now I can't even make a decision on the menu. Everything makes me feel like guilty. So I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Enjoy yourself, okay? Go. You're gonna have a great start when you get back.
I will.
But
thank you.
Yeah, but honestly, Tristan. So I hope this was a little helpful for you, and I hope that you'll be able to come out to the talk on August 4th at FitCode in Beverly.
Yes, definitely. That's my place. Cool. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Tristan.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and just wrap with Shelton. You go have a great dinner. Shelton, I know you have to run here too. But again, I just want to. What was this like for you to hear Tristan's story? I mean, I would agree, man. I think she's ready to change.
I agree as well. And her story is so many other people's story, which I think is great, so people can relate to that. And then, the advice that you gave and the tips that you gave, I think are so key, and will be able to resonate with a lot of different people. And I'm definitely proud of her for sharing that story, because most people, as you said, would not share that, would not have the courage to share that. And we get so stuck in shame that we live in that shame, and we don't allow that ourselves to sort of breathe and open up, and then be able to free ourselves from that shame by having these conversations. So, I applaud her for doing that. So
I 100% agree. I think if we're looking for benchmarks and markers for people being ready to change and also for success, it is what you said. It's that courage, that vulnerability. It's standing up to shame. And that's, what I'm excited when I come back out there next time, the emphasis on the talk is going to be even more about that. And so just so everyone knows, guys, when we're out there, the idea is that we call it slaying shame, because I really want, and Shelton, I really hope we can get this message out with everyone in the gym, is that I want to especially get the people who haven't been, maybe we can call them, or I'll even help you get a hold of them. We want to get the people who haven't been to a workout but still maintain a membership in like 8 months. We want those people to show up to the talk. We want the people that are right now hiding in shame. They're in isolation. They're like, oh, you don't want to. No, we do want to see you. And we want to come out and we want to love on you. We want to encourage you. Yeah, like we want to encourage you to get held accountable again, but we also want to help build you up, because when you're in isolation, this shame thing takes over, and all it does is create more and more days caught in the pleasure trap, more and more days of putting on weight, more and more days of hating yourself. And that's what we're putting an end to with this talk on that Saturday, August 4th, is really coming out and just saying, if you're in hiding right now, and you don't even have to have ever gone to the gym, if you or anyone is in hiding, it's time to get into community. And the way you'll do that is by coming to this talk, getting some information, getting some tools, but then also too, if you're not part of a gym community, this is a great community. Like, people could sign up at the gym, I'm sure, right? Like if they come to the talk and they want to try out the gym, I'm sure there'll be ways to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, we will talk more about that. Shelton, I want to thank you again for tuning in. I know we got another one of these coming up, at least one more, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Is it next week?
Double check my schedule. I think it's
the 19th. I think it's the 19th. And then we have another. We have a Tuesday night broadcast, which we'll hammer out before I get out there that week. So yeah, I'm excited. Can't wait to see Chi-Town this time of year. Should I go to a White Sox game or a Cubs game while I'm out there?
I'm not going to anger any of my.
That's a bad question to ask, huh?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Cubs are closer, so maybe that may be about.
That is true, and they're probably both. I know that the Cubs are at home. I don't know if the White Sox are at home. I am excited about the White Sox. They got a good young team. I'm a big Yoan Moncada fan. So anyway, I'm excited about them. So maybe I'll try to hit up both.
Yeah, awesome. That'd be great.
Cool. Well, Sheldon, thank you so much, man. I will talk to you next week. I'm gonna sign off with these guys here in a minute. I will talk to you again next week on office hours. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, I just want to thank you guys. Thank you for letting me get up. I feel like I have more energy. I mean, look at this. I get to just kind of walk around in here. And look, and by the way, I can show you some art too. This is artwork. If you like the artwork done back here, this is done by a good friend of mine who I actually saw today, Kyle Lawson. Big shout out to Kyle Lawson, amazing artist here in Sacramento. And yeah, those are some amazing pieces. Those are actually pieces that are made. Now we're going to do an art show. These are actually pieces that are made from his big canvases that he does. These are the scraps of paper that he would use to mix the paint. And that, I mean, that's when you know you're an artist. That like people are even, I'm going to frame a piece of your scrap paper because it's so amazing. And that's what, I got all those up in the office here for all of us to look at, and I enjoy that all day long. So anyway, this is the office. I'm Dr. Mondo here from Sacramento. I want to just really quick, before people are saying Cubs, just keep showing up, Maureen. Maureen, listen, you have been loyal and you keep showing up here. My gosh, I don't know who is in your community around you in terms of people in your gym that I hope they all know how you're showing up on these broadcasts. Because every single one of us, when we hear your comments, we're all here for you. We all have your back. And I know it's not long before you're going to be on these broadcasts commenting, and you're going to be encouraging someone that's walked in your shoes before. So I cannot wait for that, Maureen. But you know what? As long as you need us to lift you up, that's what we're here for. It's so cool because I love when we have community, where we can come alongside each other and we can support and lift each other up. And I see that happening every time in the comment section. I really appreciate that. So guys, if you can, encourage people to like this page so that they get the notifications when these videos go live. You can share the video, you can talk about it, you can share one of our past Facebook lives and share that to inspire someone. It's just kind of like Tristan was saying, in that when you check into the gym so many times, there's people on your friends list that you have no clue that are watching. And that happens, like I saw someone, like today, I saw Kyle, the artist, and he said, I'm seeing what you're doing on Facebook Live, keep doing it. We don't realize that people are watching from afar. But some of those people are really not just taking notice. Some of those people are like, they show that meme where they're hanging out behind the clothespins, like poking their head out behind a shirt. They're just there to watch. They're doing the Michael Jackson meme, eating the popcorn. But there's other people that are really getting inspired. They might not even like your post, but they see you, you know? And so to that, we see you, right? And when we share these videos, people see it. They might not comment, they might not say anything, but when you share the videos that says something about what you're doing, when you're sharing a video about emotional eating, when you're sharing a video about shame, people see that, and it goes a long way. We got her back at the Lift, Kimberly Abbott. You guys, the Lift gym, man, talk about, I'm coming to Chicago next, but can I get a reason to come back out to New Jersey? I mean, there's already a reason, it's to see you guys, but I'm looking for any reason to come back out and see you guys. There's actually a conference that I might get a chance to speak at that's nearby, and that's coming up, I want to say in October, and I'm trying to make it so I can come out and see you guys too, because I had such an amazing time with you guys and the Jennings family. Just so amazing. Joseph, I got to come squat with you, man. I got to see Maureen, give her a hug. I got to see you too, Kimberly. I got to see all of you guys out there to see the Jennings twins. I need to see them too. Anyway, I just got to get back out to New Jersey. So make that happen. Go tell the Jennings that we need to make a reason, and we will do a slaying shame round 2, or slaying hopelessness, or we could talk about just about anything. There's so many topics we could talk about, and I'd love to come out there and see you guys again. All right, guys, I'm going to pack up this office, and this office hours is over. And I hope you guys have a great Friday. I hope you have a great weekend. And again, not the size of the step that you take, but it's the direction that counts. That's what Michael White said. Don't quote me, quote other people. And Michael White, a truly amazing therapist, he said that it's not the size of the step, but the direction that counts. What direction are you moving in? What direction are you moving in? I don't care what sort of effort you make. I don't care how big the step is in that direction. I care about your direction. Even by you tuning in today, you are making a step in that direction. Even by talking, even by typing, You are making a step in that direction, just like we saw here tonight with Tristan, in the direction that she is moving in simply by declaring it. What do you want to change? How do you want to rewrite your story? What direction are you going? Why not start now? And the size of the step is irrelevant, but it's the direction that counts. You guys, again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. And yes, Mary Tara, I'm coming back. I will absolutely be there. And yeah, I just appreciate all of you guys. You guys, thank you for all the support. This is not my message. It's our message, plain and simply, because all of you relate to it, because it's our message. We all experienced it. I'm just trying to do what I can to help share it. So thank you guys so much. You guys have a great rest of your Thursday night. I will see you guys on Tuesday as we talk about the 75% divorce rate with couples that go through a weight loss transformation, even if just one person goes through it. And we'll talk about what you